Let me tell you something right off the bat. If you've never had the pleasure of watching a so-called pillar of the community get blasted in the face with cow manure in front of 15 horrified neighbors, you're missing out. I mean, it's not the sort of thing you put on your vision board, but damn if it doesn't stick with you. Picture this. HOA president, hair done up like she's running for Congress, shrieking in her own living room, covered head to toe in black powder, and yes, the unmistakable scent of barnyard justice. Yeah, that happened. And let me tell you how he got there, because it wasn't an accident. It was a 3-month masterpiece in the making. My name's Samuel Morrison. I'm 39, ex-military electronics engineer, and I'd bought myself a slice of peace in Willowbrook Heights, specifically because there wasn't an HOA in sight. After years of taking orders and following someone else's rules, I wanted a little corner of the world where I could mind my own business, tinker with electronics, and not have some clipboard warrior breathing down my neck about mailbox colors or grass height. At first, it was perfect, quiet streets, big oak trees, the whole American dream setup. Old Robert next door gave me a heads up, though, about the HOA president from the next neighborhood over. She thinks her word is law everywhere, he grumbled. I laughed, man, if only I'd known. The trouble started small. A snarky note on my door about my security cameras, signed Constance Hartley, President, Willowbrook Estates, HOA. No jurisdiction, but plenty of attitude. I ignored it. It was my lawn, then my work van, and then, like a dark comedy, my packages started vanishing. First it was a box of resistors, then a multimeter, then some RAM chips. Stuff a normal thief wouldn't even know how to sell, but to me, vital. Over 3 months, I lost 12 packages, $3,000 worth of gear. I beefed up the cameras, hidden ones this time, and sure enough caught her in the act. 3 a.m., hoodie up, skulking around like she's casing Fort Knox, slipping away with a box tucked under her arm. The anger, man, I can't describe it. It wasn't just the theft, it was the arrogance. But I didn't confront her. That's not how you win. I learned in the military, make it count when you strike back. So I got methodical. Synced my camera feeds, exported everything, logged serial numbers in color-coded spreadsheets, made folders for each theft, took photos, and started tracking her listings online. Sure enough, my missing gear showed up on Facebook Marketplace under the handle W President, the same one she used on HOA message boards. De ego. Right. I went to the cops with everything I had. Officer Martinez squinted at the footage. It's good, he said, but not good enough. We need her face clear, a pattern, and proof she's selling the stuff. Document everything. Get better angles. Track the items. So I doubled down. Cameras in fake rocks, birdhouses. Hell, I probably looked paranoid to the neighbors, but I was building a case. Meanwhile, Constance ramped up her campaign. Complaints to the city, nasty letters, even a petition. My girlfriend, Amanda, begged me to just move. But this was my house. I wasn't letting some suburban tyrant run me off. Then came the twist. Constance started wearing a delivery vest, like she was part of the crew. On camera, clear as day, she struts up, swipes my package, saunters off, never breaking stride. The confidence, the entitlement, it was like a reality show about HOA dictators gone wild. That's when I knew she wasn't just picking on me. She was running an operation. Amanda helped me comb through marketplace listings. We found my gear, sure, but also a vintage watch reported missing by another neighbor, plus tools and electronics from folks all over the area. This woman was a professional, but the police needed more. Catch her in the act, Martinez said. We want her holding stolen goods. Airtight. So I started baiting the trap, ordering unique, trackable gadgets, photographing them before delivery, logging serials, and making sure my hidden cameras had a front row seat. Finally, one sunny Monday, she slipped up, no sunglasses, HOA pin still on her collar, grabbing a package I'd booby-trapped just for her. And on her little theft tour, she hit 2 more porches in broad daylight. That was my golden ticket. Still, we needed that cherry on top, the moment where she couldn't talk her way out of it, not in a million years. I brainstormed with Marcus, my old army buddy turned lawyer. Marking a thief with harmless dye? Perfectly legal, he said, as long as it's not dangerous. Robert, my farmer neighbor, grinned, and offered a recipe: activated charcoal and dried manure. Sticky, stinky, and washes off, eventually, he said, winking. I rigged up the device in my garage, tested it, and then wrapped it in packaging from a high-end electronics company, making sure it looked irresistible. Tucked inside were a GPS tracker and a tiny cloud streaming camera. The Willowbrook Estates HOA meeting was always on the last Tuesday at her place. That's when she'd want to show off her score. I set the decoy package on my porch at 11 a.m., all cameras rolling. At 2:15, Constance snatched it and took it home. Hours crawled by. I've barely touched my lunch, nerve shot, but I knew she'd want an audience. By 6:45, the tracker pinged movement, the camera feed went live, and I caught muffled voices and coffee cups clinking. Before we begin tonight's agenda, Constance crowed, I want to show you what Mr. Morrison's been up to. The camera jostled, her face right there, surrounded by her loyal minions. Tape ripped. The box popped open. And then, boom, a black cloud filled the room. Screams, gagging, people leaping away. It's everywhere. The smell. Oh my God, it's in my hair. Constance shrieked, looking like she'd crawled through a swamp. The meeting erupted into chaos. Coffee everywhere, papers flying. The best part? The camera caught everything. Her admitting to keeping my package, justifying it as HOA business, then detonating her own humiliation in front of every board member. When she tried to spin it as assault, Helen, one of the board members, shut her down. Why would Morrison booby-trap his own package? She demanded. The room turned on Constance so fast she couldn't keep up. The cops arrived 20 minutes later. Officer Martinez watched the footage at my place, eyebrows climbing higher with every minute. You've got her, he said, calling in a search warrant. The fallout was biblical. Neighbors came forward, some angry, some relieved, all with stories of missing packages and petty harassment. The police found a storeroom in Constance's basement, packed with stolen goods, stuff reported missing by families all over the neighborhood. That night, as she was led away in handcuffs, streaked with black and stinking to high heaven, she shot me a look I'll never forget. But all I felt was relief. I like to say that was the end, but villains don't quit easy. Constance posted bail and hired Steinberg and Associates, the type of law firm that'd represent a bank robber and say he was just redistributing wealth. I got a letter, hand-delivered, threatening to sue me for $200,000 for assault and defamation. Amanda was horrified, but I stayed calm. My files were airtight. I called Marcus. He said Steinberg wouldn't touch a case they couldn't win. Constance tried the PR route, press conference, crocodile tears, claiming she'd only taken my package by mistake. It might have worked, but by then, the neighborhood had seen the footage. Folks started posting their own stories and videos. Someone leaked Helen's phone recording from the meeting, showing Constance admitting everything. By the time the DA called, the case was bulletproof. A search of her house turned up stolen goods from at least a year back. She'd been running a theft ring under the HOA's nose. Her final mistake? She showed up at my house, violating her bail. I recorded the whole thing, her threats, her desperation. She was back in jail by sunset. The local news had a field day. HOA president behind bars after manure incident. And for the first time in months, I sat on my porch and just breathed. No more missing packages. No more notes. No more self-appointed queen with a clipboard and a grudge. When her trial came, the courtroom was packed. 13 counts: mail theft, fraud, embezzlement, misuse of authority. The evidence was a mile high. The jury's verdict: guilty on every charge. The judge gave her 18 months in state prison, 3 years probation, $47,000 restitution, and 300 hours of community service at a livestock farm. I nearly lost it laughing when I heard that last part. Life settled back down. Packages arrived on time. The new HOA board, led by Helen, enacted actual transparency, term limits, and set boundaries so another tyrant couldn't rise up. Old Robert would stop by with updates. Heard from my nephew at the farm. She's shoveling stalls these days, complaining about the smell. Turns out, karma really does have a sense of humor. Months later, I got a letter from Constance. She claimed she was sorry, blamed power for changing her, said she hoped I'd found peace. Maybe she meant it, maybe not. Didn't matter. The neighborhood had healed. Even the FBI poked around when they realized her theft ring stretched across counties. But in the end, justice held. People got their money back. My business bounced back. And best of all, I got my life back. You know, it would have been easy to pack up and move. Lots of folks do when bullies show up, especially ones who hide behind phony authority. But I stuck it out, documented everything, and got creative, not out of spite, but because I wanted my home to be mine, not some suburban fiefdom. So if you're dealing with your own constants, an HOA tyrant, a boss, a neighbor, whoever, just remember, patience, evidence, and a little barnyard ingenuity go a long way. Now, every block party is a celebration. Neighbors laugh, swap stories, and the only thing the HOA president steals these days is a few hours at the grill. I still wave to the new family in Constance's old house. Kids playing, parents planning birthday parties, not a clue about the chaos that came before. And that's just fine by me. Every neighborhood deserves a fresh start, and sometimes it takes a little manure to clear the air. So what do you think? Was justice served? Or was I out of line for fighting fire with fertilizer? Drop a comment below. Tell me about your own battles with neighborhood royalty, and let's hear what you'd have done in my shoes. After all, in the end, the best revenge really is a life lived in peace, preferably with all your packages delivered safe and sound.